All right, guys, so in this video, I'm going to solve this problem right here. In this problem, I'm given the graph of a quadratic function, and I'm given 2 points on that graph. And what I'm asked to do is to determine what the actual function of this graph is. What is the quadratic function? All right, so one way that we can always write a quadratic function is in the form f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. I've called this sort of completed square form. H and k are, of course, the vertex of our function. And that's going to be key in answering this problem because we know, based on our diagram, that the vertex of this function is 2, 1. So we know our values for h and our values for k. And so we know that hk is 2, 1. Right? And so I can actually input those values into my function. F of x, therefore, is really just a times x minus h will become x minus 2, h is 2, all squared, plus k will become plus 1. And I'm almost there. If I look back at my original f of x up here, I said that I had three unknowns. I didn't know a, I didn't know h, and I didn't know k. Well, I filled in 2 of those. So it remains only then to find a. And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other point that I'm given. The other point that I'm given is 0, 5. That is to say that when x is 0, the function's value is 5, right? It happens to be the y-intercept, but what I really know is that f of 0 is equal to 5. And I can use that information to form an equation and solve for a. So that is to say, f of 0 is, filling in, it's a times 0 minus 2. 0 minus 2, all squared, plus 1. And now we know that that is equal to 5. And so I can form an equation. I have a is equal to, in fact, I've already formed the equation. I can now go about solving the equation. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So that is 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. And therefore, continue, 4a plus 1 is 5. Subtracting my 1 to the other side, I get 4a is equal to 5 minus 1. 4a is equal to 4. And then dividing both sides by 4, I get that a is 4 divided by 4. A is equal to 1. And so I can now complete the equation for my function. F of x is a times x minus h is going to become 1 times x minus h. Well, so I will just leave it as x minus h is 2 squared plus 1. And that's it. That is the function that accompanies my graph right here. If I wanted to, I could write it in standard form. Perhaps not necessary, but just to go through it. X minus 2 squared is x squared minus 4x plus 4. That's x minus 2 squared, and then I have a plus 1 at the end. And so gathering up, I get x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 1 is plus 5. And that is my function in standard form right there. So either one of those will do. I'm going to do one more. So I'm going to have another problem here that looks like the following. So I'm given a graph. My graph comes down something like that. And my vertex Just move this. My vertex is right there. So my vertex, I'm given the vertex, and I'm given another point on the graph, say right here. So I'm told that my vertex has a value of 1, -3. And the point 3,5 is also on the graph. All right, and again, I'm asked to find the function. So to go about that, you're going to use the same methodology that I used in the last problem. Because I know the vertex, it's very easy for me to use the form that f of x is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. hk is, in this case, 1, -3. hk is always the vertex, 1, -3. And so f of x is equal to a times x minus 1 squared plus k is going to be -3. Again, I don't have my a value, but I can find that using my other point, 3,5. I know that if the value of x is 3, then the function's value is 5. An input of 3 gives me an output of 5. Or f of 3 is equal to 5. All right, so what is f of 3? Well, f of 3 is a times, instead of x minus 1, I have 3 minus 1 squared minus 3. And I can say we know that this is equal to 5. So completing it, I get a times 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Minus 3 is equal to 5. So 4a minus 3 is equal to 5. Adding 3 to both sides, I get 4a is equal to 5 plus 3. 4a is equal to 8, and therefore a is equal to 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I have my a value, and I can now put that into this form of my function right here and complete my function. So my function is f of x is equal to 2 times x minus 1 all squared minus 3. And that is it. I'm going to also put this one in standard form. Why not? So this will be 2 times, inside my parentheses, x minus 1 squared is x squared minus 2x plus 1. And I have a minus 3. Distributing in my 2, that will give me 2x squared minus 4x plus 2, and then minus 3. And finally, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 2 minus 3 is minus 1. And that is the function completed. That is the function that accompanies this graph right here. And that's how we solve a problem like that, given the vertex and given another point on the graph. This is a method that we can use to then determine what that function's value is.